Hello, everyone. Let's identify together the 12 cranial nerves on the blank figure. Before we start with the nerves, this right here is the frontal lobe. On the side, we have the temporal lobe. This right here is the pons. This is the cerebellum. And this right here is the medulla oblongata. Starting with the first cranial nerve, which is cranial nerve number 1. This part is the filaments of the olfactory nerve. So the olfactory nerve is cranial nerve number 1. This part is the olfactory bulb. And this right here is the olfactory tract. The olfactory nerve carries the smell, sensation, and the signals. So it is a sensory nerve. Moving to the second cranial nerve, which is the optic nerve. This right here is the optic chiasma, where the decussation of the optic nerve happens. And this right here is the optic tract. Don't confuse the optic tract with the optic nerve. The optic tract is closer to the brain. This right here is the infundibulum, which is connected to the pituitary gland. The optic nerve is a sensory nerve. Moving to the third cranial nerve, which is the oculomotor nerve. The oculomotor nerve, from the name, it is a motor nerve only. This right here is the trochlear nerve, which is cranial nerve number 4. The trochlear nerve is also a motor nerve only. Moving to the fifth cranial nerve, which is the trigeminal nerve, which gives 3 branches, tri from 3. The trigeminal nerve is a mixed nerve. It has motor and sensory fibers. Moving to the junction between the pons right here and the medulla oblongata, first nerve from the inside, we have the abducens nerve, which is cranial nerve number 6. The abducens nerve is a motor nerve only. Moving laterally, we have the facial nerve, which is cranial nerve number 7. The facial nerve is a mixed cranial nerve. It has both motor and sensory fibers. Moving to cranial nerve number 8, this is the vestibulocochlear nerve, which is a sensory nerve only. Moving laterally, we have the glossopharyngeal nerve. Glosso meaning it's related to the tongue. Pharyngeal to the pharynx nerve, which is cranial nerve number 9. It is also a mixed cranial nerve. So we finished on the same level, which is at the junction of the pons with the medulla oblongata. We finished number 6, number 7, 8, and then 9. Moving to cranial nerve number 10, which is the vagus nerve. Right here we have the vagus nerve, which is on the lateral aspect of the medulla oblongata. The vagus nerve is a mixed cranial nerve. Moving to the accessory nerve, which is cranial nerve number 11. It looks like an 11 right here on both sides of the medulla oblongata. The accessory nerve also, it is a motor nerve. Moving to cranial nerve number 11, this is the accessory nerve, which is a motor nerve only. And it looks like an 11 on both sides of the medulla oblongata. Moving to cranial nerve number 12, which is the last cranial nerve, this is the hypoglossal nerve. Glossal meaning related to the tongue. The hypoglossal nerve is a motor-only cranial nerve. So we started with number 1, and then number 2, this is number 3, 4, and then 5. Then we moved medially, that's number 6, 7, 8, 9, and we finished externally, which is right here, number 10, and then 11, and then we moved to the medial aspect back, which is number 12. So keep in mind that cranial nerves number 1, 2, and 8 are sensory nerves. We have 3 sensory nerves, whereas cranial nerves number 5, 7, 9, and 10 are mixed cranial nerves, which are 4 in total, whereas cranial nerve number 3, 4, 6, and 11 and 12 are motor nerves, which are 5 in total. Let's identify the structures on that figure. This right here is the cerebrum. This is the frontal lobe. This right here is the temporal lobe. That is the midbrain. This right here is the pons. This is the medulla oblongata. And this right here is the cerebellum. We can see the olfactory bulb right here, whereas this is the olfactory tract. This right here is the optic nerve, whereas this is the optic tract. These two are the mammillary bodies.